Let me ask you something. Have you ever stepped on the field, the court, or the gym and suddenly felt like you forgot how to play? Like you have done these 1,000 times before, but for some reason your body feels stiff, your timing is off, and your mind just won't stop talking? That's what overthinking feels like. And it's one of the biggest reasons why athletes stop playing like themselves. And honestly, I feel like we all have been there before. You train hard a week, you prepare the right way, you eat the right food, you do the foam roller, recover, but then when the whistle blows, your mind starts running faster than your legs. What if I mess up? What will the coach think? What will my parents, my girlfriend, my boyfriend think? I need to prove myself today. And what's crazy is it's not that you lost your skills, it's that you lost your connection. Creating the athletic school has been a long journey. Reaching 100 episodes has taken consistency, grit, and a lot of passion. Having incredible guests share their story has been a true pleasure. But now, I want to ask you for your help. If you haven't already, please follow the show on whatever platform you're listening from. It really helps me a lot. And I promise you this, I'll continue to bring on the best guest speakers I can, and I'll do my very best to share content that helps you grow, not just as an athlete, but as a person on and off the field. I will study, I will read, and research relentless for ways to help you. And I'll share everything I learn right here. When you are connected, the games feel natural. You're not thinking, you are just feeling. You're trusting your body, you're reading the game, and when you are in the flow, which a lot of psychologists call the zone, but when you're disconnected from yourself, when you start playing for approval instead of expression, that's when the mind takes over. And here's something that might surprise you. There's actually a study from Harvard that shows when athletes consciously focus too much on their movements, sometimes they normally do automatically, their performance can drop by up to 25%. It's called a paralysis by analysis. So, for example, let's say you are a soccer player and you're taking a penalty kick. You've done it thousands of times in training, it's automatically, right? But the moment that they start thinking about how to shoot, how to plan your foot, where the goalkeeper might go, then your muscles get tightened. And when the body tightens, the flow disappear. You can't perform anymore. But again, it's not a lack of skill, it's a lack of trust on yourself. A trust that you are capable of doing what you have been doing in the past hundreds of times before. And here's the truth, overthinking isn't the problem, disconnection is. Overthinking is just a symptom of being out of sync with who you are as a player. When you are disconnected, you stop trusting what's already built inside you, your own instincts, your preparation, your identity as an athlete. So, how do you recognize that? You know you're overthinking when you are hesitating instead of reacting, you play it safe instead of free, and you look for permission instead of making a decision. If that sounds familiar, it's not because you're weak, it's because your mind is trying to protect you from failure. It wants control. But here's the irony, the more you try to control your performance, the more you will lose control of it. So let's talk about preparation versus overanalyzing, because this is the important one. So preparation will build foundation. It's what you do before the whistle blows. It's the rap, the film, the mindset work, the all behind the scenes. But once the game starts, you have to let it go. You can keep building the house while you are already living in it. That's where that's when you shift from thinking to trusting. And that's where reconnection come in and starts to happen again. To play freely again without being scared of mistakes, you have to reconnect with yourself. Your breathing, your love for the game, whatever keeps you uh, playing for whatever reason you play for. Some athletes do through breath working techniques, one deep inhale, one slow exhale before every play, if your sport, of course, allows you to. But here are two simple ways that you can do that it's very powerful and very simple. The first one, it's creating micro goals. Instead of thinking about winning, not messing up, I want you to focus on tiny immediate actions that you can take. So for example, I'll make a good first touch on the next 3 balls, or I'll communicate with my teammate this possession. Breaking the game into small, controllable steps keeps your mind out of overdrive. And the second one is sensory cues. So you can pick something, a simple thing that brings you back to the moment. And it could be a touch on your wristband, tapping your cleats, or even repeating a single word in your head, like trust, flow, focus, whatever you want that word to be. Every time you feel your thoughts are racing, use that cue to snap yourself back into the present. Whenever I was playing, I realized something, that the best performances don't come when you try to prove something. They come when you remember who you are, when you're playing without being scared, without any fear, you're just playing freely. It's the difference between pressure and purpose. So pressure says, don't mess up. And purpose says, this is who I am. I got this. So here's something else practical for you to try. Before every game, practice this short mental reset. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath in, exhale slow. Set a micro goal. I'll complete the next 3 reps with focus. So, like I said, the focus on your touch, on your pass, whatever it is, but focus on little tiny things that you can do in order to break down the game. At the end of the game, you'll be able to perform better than you were before. And then use the sensory cue. Touch your wristband, like I said, whisper a word to yourself and tell yourself, I've already done this work, now I trust myself to play, and that's it, and you got this. That single thought can change everything, because freedom doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from trusting deeper. And I'm pretty sure I've said this here before, but Michael Jordan, on his book, he mentions that whenever he was having a hard time, he was making a lot of mistakes, the one thing that he did was to go back to the basics, right? Just go do some free throws or whatever, but keep it simple, right? You don't have to try to dribble 10 people on the other team if you're playing soccer. It's just simple. Just get the ball, take a good touch, pass, do one dribble here, one move there, but you don't have to try to complicate things. So whenever you playing free, that's when you will play much better than if you keep thinking about your performance all the time. When you stop overthinking and start reconnecting with yourself, you stop playing scared and you start playing real. You play like yourself again, and that's when the game becomes fun again. Remember, if you're having fun at practice, but you're having a hard time at games, you just gotta reconnect with yourself, that self that plays well at training and you can bring to the games. Because remember, you are the same person. It's not like you don't have the skills anymore. Thanks for listening to this. And if you feel like this helped you, share this with a teammate who has been overthinking lately. And remember, overthinking is disconnection, reconnection brings freedom. If you feel like you need more help, I highly recommend you following the athletic school on Instagram, where I post a lot of different things every single day that you can do in order to perform better, become a better player, but also a better person, because at the end of the day, we are human beings first. So if we take care of the human being first, we'll become better athletes no matter what. And if you need more than that, send me a DM. I'm doing one-on-one coaching where I can help you find the answers, because remember, you already have all the answers within you. You just need to ask the right questions. See you guys next time.